8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The President will address the 76th session of the UN General Assembly at 9:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time today. 878 new COVID cases added to the total count. Sri Lanka confirms another 92 COVID-19 deaths today. Manike Mage Hite fame Yohani to perform in India. Aeroflot resumes flights to Colombo. The CAA Amendment Bill passed in Parliament. The IGP seeks permission for bookstores to remain open during the travel restriction period. In news overseas, China pledges to stop building new coal energy plants abroad. In sports news, Marlon Samuels charged with breaching the ICC's anti-corruption code. The President will address the 76th session of the UN General Assembly at 9:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time today. The 76th session of the UNGA commenced on Tuesday under the patronage of the US President Joe Biden. Many member state leaders are scheduled to address the assembly. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will address the fifth speaker today after the Ghana leader. The President is expected to brief the successful COVID vaccination drive implemented in Sri Lanka and other COVID control measures. The President will also explain the development activities taking place in the north and the east. The President will also explain the improvements achieved in human rights records after taking office. The President will emphasize the local mechanisms to solve the post-war conflicts. The proposed reforms and amendments in the Terrorist Prevention Act is also expected to be highlighted at this occasion. The Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health says 878 more people tested positive for the novel coronavirus so far today. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 reported in the country to 508,208. Reportedly, more than 60,800 virus-infected patients are undergoing treatment at the moment at hospitals, treatment centres and are undergoing home-based care. The total number of coronavirus recoveries climbed to 435,022 after 882 more patients were discharged from medical care earlier today. Meanwhile, the official death toll from COVID-19 now stands at 12,376. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed another 92 coronavirus-related deaths for September 21st, pushing the country's death toll due to the virus pandemic to 12,376. According to the figures released by the Government Information Department, the deaths reported today include 51 males and 41 females. 2 of the victims, 1 male and 1 female, are below the age of 30 years, while 19 of them are aged between 30 to 59. Meanwhile, 71 of the deceased are aged 60 years and above. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Local artist Yohani De Silva, who garnered global recognition with her song Manike Mage Hite, is all set to perform in India. The current version of the viral Sinhala song was released in May 2021 and is sung by Sri Lankan singer-rappers Yohani and Satheesan, who became overnight sensations not only in Sri Lanka but also in India. Yohani will be performing at Studio XO Gurugram on September 30th and the Heart Cup Coffee, Gachibowli in Hyderabad on October 3rd. The event is titled Supermoon #NowTrending and is a new platform for upcoming and new talent. Yohani, via a message on Facebook, said, quote, I have always wanted to perform in India and I can't believe it is finally happening. The love shown to Manike Mage Hite still baffles me. I'm so stoked that this is finally happening and that I got to perform, or rather get to perform in Gurugram and Hyderabad on the 30th of September and the 3rd of October respectively, unquote. Meanwhile, following an invitation, Yohani had met Dr. Revant Vikram Singh, the director of the Indian Cultural Centre, now called the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre of the High Commission of India, on Tuesday. The Aeroflot Russian Airlines will be resuming its flight operations to Colombo from Moscow from November 4, 2021, the Airport and Aviation Services Sri Lanka Private Limited said. The airline will operate 2 flights per week and will operate the Airbus A330-300 aircraft. The Aeroflot Russian Airlines is one of the oldest international airlines that operate international flights to Colombo, and it has been operating the Moscow-Colombo route since 1964. The Consumer Affairs Authority Amendment Bill, which was introduced in Parliament today, has been passed without amendments. The Ministerial Consultative Committee on Trade, which met yesterday under the chairmanship of the Trade Minister Bandula Gunawardena, was in agreement to present the bill in Parliament. The extraordinary Gazette notification relating to this amendment bill was issued on the 19th of August 2021. Accordingly, the Consumer Affairs Authority Amendment Bill was introduced in Parliament today for the second reading debate. This amendment bill will increase the fines imposed on traders who do not sell goods at the controlled price after the Consumer Affairs Authority issues a Gazette notification stating the maximum retail price for certain goods. Accordingly, the fines imposed on all businesses registered as sole proprietorships and institutions or companies will be revised. Additionally, after trial before a magistrate, convicted felons can be fined or imprisoned or both. The State Minister of Cooperative Services, Marketing Development and Consumer Protection, Lasantha Alagyavanna, addressing the Ministerial Consultative Committee on Trade yesterday, said that despite the recent Gazette notifications of controlled prices for essential commodities, they are not being sold at the controlled prices in the market. Therefore, it was decided to revise the fines, he said. The Inspector General of Police, IGP CD Vikramaratne, has requested the Director General of Health Services to grant permission for bookstores to remain open during the travel restriction period. This recommendation was made based on a written request made by the Secretary of the Sri Lanka Book Publishers Association, SLBPA, Indivara Samarasinghe. The book publishing industry is in dire straits due to the closure of bookstores from time to time over the past 1.5 years, the association has pointed out, adding that they are facing difficulties having to pay salaries, allowances and building rents despite the ongoing situation. School children are also adversely affected by the closures as they have not been able to engage in online education without the required books. Accordingly, the IGP has sought the Health Services DG to allow the bookstores to operate lockdown periods under the supervision of public health inspectors and in compliance with the health protocols. The vaccination of the differently abled children above 12 years and with special needs is taking place island-wide at main hospitals. State Minister Channa Jayasumana said that children between the age of 12 and 19 years with various illnesses will be given the COVID vaccine at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital on Friday. Pfizer vaccines are scheduled to be given on Saturday at the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital for Children with Thalassemia and other illnesses. Meanwhile, consultant Dr. Prasanna Gunasena said that decisions on vaccinating children are given by the Pediatric Specialists Association and the doctors who represent vaccination and the pandemic unit. A special committee of the World Health Organization makes monthly recommendations on the side effects of vaccines. He said that children and the elders are vaccinated according to those recommendations. Minister Rear Admiral Sanath Veerasekara says many teachers are of the stance not to pursue the strike further. Some factions are exerting pressure on the innocent teachers to stay on with the strike. This type of agitation cannot be accepted at this juncture, the minister added. The school children have been affected severely due to this unreasonable strike. Therefore, the teachers should reconsider these concerns and call off the strike and return to work. The member of the Directors Board of the Office for National Coexistence and Reconciliation, Jeeva Kiriyala, says the peace and reconciliation efforts will not be interrupted through the terrorism prevention activities. Meanwhile, parliamentarian Professor Charitha Herath says consumer rights should be protected and the mutual relationship between the government and the consumers should prevail without any hindrance. There can be contradictory views between the government and the general public, but the consumers' rights and privileges should be preserved, he added. Parliamentarian Venerable Atturaliya Ratanathero reiterates that the existing preferential voting system should be abolished. An elected representative from the electorate should be fully responsible for the particular area. The Thero also emphasized that the representation from the minority political parties should be ensured. That is the need of the hour, the Thero added. The chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Provincial and Local Government Election Procedures, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, said the amendments and reforms should be implemented soon to create an atmosphere to conduct the provincial elections. The suggestions and reforms are forwarded to the Attorney General's Department to seek the legal views and validity of the reforms. The minister also pointed out that many administrative issues have arisen due to the non-existence of the provincial councils. The minister made these remarks at a meeting of the Parliamentary Select Committee held today. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The visa validity time duration will be increased to 5 years with the sole objective of attracting more foreign investments. The Immigration and Emigration Act has been amended accordingly to meet this requirement. The Director General of Immigration and Emigration, Sarath Rupasiri, said many socio-economic benefits will be expected by the country through this amendment.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Light.
Claiming that there was no issue for cardiac patients to receive the COVID vaccine, cardiac specialists requested all active and chronic cardiac patients to receive both doses of any COVID vaccine, claiming that they were more vulnerable to develop complications or even death. Cardiologist of the Negombo Hospital, Dr. Disna Amratunga, told a news conference of the Health Promotion Bureau that it was not an issue for the cardiac patients who had undergone bypass surgery, stenting or any other surgery to receive the COVID vaccine. She said cardiac patients should continue their medication even after getting infected with COVID unless a doctor advised them to discontinue the medications.
World News.
In world news headlines, China pledges to stop building new coal energy plants abroad. Covishield UK recognises COVID jab after India outcry. Melbourne earthquake tremor rattles southeast Australia. China will not build a new coal-fired project or projects abroad, a move that could be pivotal in tackling global emissions. President Xi Jinping made the announcement in his address at the United Nations General Assembly. China has been funding coal projects in countries like Indonesia and Vietnam under a massive infrastructure project known as the Belt and Road Initiative. But it has been under pressure to end the financing as the world tries to meet the Paris Climate Change Agreement targets. The UK government has amended its foreign travel guidance to clarify that the Indian-made version of the AstraZeneca vaccine is an approved jab. But it is not clear whether people from India can travel to the UK without having to self-isolate for 10 days. The UK's refusal to recognise Covishield had triggered a firestorm of protests in India. With more than 721 million doses administered so far, Covishield is India's primary vaccine. A 5.9 magnitude earthquake has rattled southeast Australia, damaging buildings in the city of Melbourne. The earthquake happened about 9:15 local time on Wednesday at Mansfield, not far from the Victorian state capital. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said Australia so far had no reports of serious injuries. The earthquake was also felt in neighbouring South Australia and New South Wales. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. China pledges to stop building new coal energy plants abroad. Covishield UK recognises COVID jab after India outcry. Melbourne earthquake tremor rattled southeast Australia. That was world news, and now in development news, the Galle port will be developed. The Ministry of Ports and Shipping says the Galle port will be developed to a trade harbour in the region. The project will be developed as a public-private partnership.
Sports news.
In cricket, former West Indies all-rounder Marlon Samuels has been charged with breaching the International Cricket Council's anti-corruption code. The ICC said the 4 counts against Samuels were in relation to his participation in the 2019 Abu Dhabi-based T10 League. The 40-year-old won the T20 World Cup twice with the West Indies and was the team's top scorer in both finals. He has 14 days to respond to charges brought by the Emirates Cricket Board.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
This was news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A recent study on the house price index developed by Lanka Property Web, which is based on the asking prices of its listings, revealed that overall residential land prices per perch had soared by 44.19% from the second quarter 2020 to the second quarter of 2021. A 4-bedroom house sales price had increased by 15.68% from Q2 of 2020, while an average 3-bedroom apartment price had risen by 2.64%.
This was news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Power generation in Sri Lanka has headed upwards over the years as defensiveness made the sector resilient against economic fluctuations, according to the Utilities Sector Renewable Energy Green Energy Power in the Transition Report 2021 compiled by First Capital Research. Power generation measured in gigawatt hours has been continuously growing over the past decades while recording a 15-year CAGR of 6%, and it is expected to grow at even a faster pace over the next decade.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report.
The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the Sabaragamu and the central provinces. Several spells of showers will occur in the western and the northwestern provinces and in the Gaul and Mathura districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Batikalo and Ampara districts, particularly in the evening or night. This weather report was issued this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website AccuWeather.com reports that the day's weather was observed to be bright with occasional showers. Today's daytime temperature was around 29 degrees Celsius. There will be light showers in many places in the Colombo district in the night. Tonight's temperature will be around 27 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in select spots late in the night. The ground temperature would be 27 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The air quality index AQI is 16, which shows a fair condition in Colombo. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The President will address the 76th session of the UN General Assembly at 9:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time today. 878 new COVID cases added to the total count. Sri Lanka confirms another 92 COVID-19 deaths today. Manike Mage Hite fame Yohani to perform in India. Aeroflot resumes flights to Colombo. The CAA Amendment Bill passed in Parliament. The IGP seeks permission for bookstores to remain open during the travel restriction period. In news overseas, China pledges to stop building new coal energy plants abroad. In sports news, Marlon Samuels charged with breaching the ICC's anti-corruption code. That concludes this news broadcast.